depths of my soul, feeling the loss of controlling in a spirit so colorful. If you believe it, let's go to a place where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's match review, of course, from what we have to say was quite the incredible Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 3. It hasn't quite sunk in that we've absolutely blitzed them at Old Trafford. Have I gone again?
A little bit quiet.
Oh, I am having serious
I
microphone
said it's okay
problems.
now.
Yeah, it keeps going on. I think I've got a dodgy connection somewhere. I'm going to have to get a new microphone. There's no doubt about it. But anyway, we got a super chat straight off the belt from Geordie Boy. Says £5. Thank you very much. He says great result, amazing teamwork, and awesome fans. Loved it. Absolutely. I think everybody loved it. We loved doing the commentary last night. It was absolutely superb. And given the team that we put out, I mean, it was a little bit of a strange team, as we predicted in the match preview, of course. But if you do enjoy tonight's show, guys, as usual, please give us the thumbs up. Very important we keep the likes coming in. Thank you to everybody that helped us get so many thumbs up yesterday. And, of course, if you are new to the channel and like what you see, please do hit the subscribe button. We are now over 24,500 subscribers on the way to 25, which is 25 is a milestone. So we will do something special for 25 subscribers as well. No, I'm not rocking another Chelsea shirt. I like blue. I have blue shirts.
Thought it was Macclesfield Town for a minute.
We've got early super chats you haven't done, Paul, as well.
Yeah, no, I'm coming to them in a minute when I finish my spiel, Bill. Thank you for reminding me, though. So please do subscribe if you are new to the channel, and of course hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or upload any videos. And of course you can donate to the channel, as Geordie Boy and a few others have already tonight. Thank you so much, by hitting the $sign at the bottom of the live comments, which will help the channel immensely and to get your comment read out. And of course you can become a member of the Toon Review by hitting the join button just underneath the three of us. We have had a real influx of new members, which has been absolutely superb. So welcome one and all. Dorch Mag is a new member. Welcome to the Members Club, matey, and thank you for your support. Chippers must be in a good mood because he sent a £10 super chat. He says, I'm still buzzing after last night, mate. Anyone think Eric Ten Hag is starting to sound like Steve Bruce with that desperate interview last night? It's fan-fucking-tastic, he says. Jimmy Jones, our resident Hammers fan, says, 199, thank you very much. A good night had by all, indeed. And Shane over in Australia, member for 22 months now. Thank you for your support, Shane. He says, morning, gents. Single best performance under Howe, in my opinion, given the team he put out. We beat the team full of egos and made it look easy. I can't disagree with that. How did you feel when you first saw the team sheet, Alex?
Rather nervous.
Yeah.
Rather nervous. It wasn't just our team sheet. It was both team sheets. It was the fact that they basically started a full strength side, but bar maybe Rashford and Fernandes on the bench. It was a full strength side.
Martinez and the two centre backs would have been playing, wouldn't they?
No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. How much money they spent on Maguire and how important Lindelof has been as a sort of an international No,
I agree.
I'm
I
not.
agree
I'm
with
not
that.
having that. It's
No,
their
but
senior
I'm
pros.
talking
It's
from a
not
Man
like,
United fan's perspective. They'll say, well, we
well,
were
they
without
can
Varane and we were without
they can
Martinez.
do
So
one. Like, yeah,
we
like
were
no,
without Botman and Share and Lascelles.
exactly.
So
Exactly. That is as close to as a senior first team as you're going to get. And when you compare it to ours, I was nervous about it based on the. I think I'm imagining sort of performances from Anthony Martial from sort of 4 years ago that he just doesn't produce anymore,
yeah.
and certain performances and team cohesion that doesn't exist under Manchester United at the moment. I was nervous. However, it was one of those where everybody was focused. They were all playing sort of together. They were all on the same wavelength. Passes were going well. Movements, positioning was going well. Everybody was going after second balls, there were a lot of impressive individual performances as well last night, particularly from the two centre halves, and the fullbacks.
Well,
Basically, the
definitely come on
entire
to
back
them.
line.
Absolutely.
I know we need to praise everybody else further forward, but that entire back line, which was completely rotated, gave us the platform to go and do what we did, which was incredible.
Rachel's signing off. She has a show, of course. She's doing a show this week. Have a great time, Rachel. Second show tonight. I'm sure you'll smash it as you did last night. So well done, Rachel, and keep up the great work with that. And we'll see you, of course, when the show comes to a close. Good luck and break a leg, as they say. Vincent says, Emil Kraft, the Swedish Cafu, turned Swedish Maldini. It was incredible for Emil Kraft, Billy. 2 seconds. We just had a $4.99 super chat from Chris McGee. $4.99. Given the strength of Willock's performance last night, do we think it's worth taking a slight risk and starting him against Arsenal? And Ron Peacock has genuinely gifted yet another 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Ron. Incredibly, incredibly kind. And those people that have got those memberships are Vincent, Bruno Genius, Celine McKnight, Owen Haygarth, and I have no other, or Acid, sorry. Acid is now a member as well. So well done, guys. Billy, Emil Kraft he stood out. He really did stand out. We didn't think there was a chance in hell of him lasting 90 minutes, given, and certainly even during the game, we both said that during commentary, but it turns out that it wasn't a problem.
Well, let's not forget that Emil Kraft at one point was a joke figure at Newcastle United under the previous manager. Couldn't defend for Toffee, making mistakes left, right, and centre. But we noticed improvement in the right back role while Kieran Trippier was out injured the season before last, and Eddie Howe got himself injured in the Tranmere tie last year. It would have been in end of August, beginning of September, so 14 months out of the game to come back in and make a performance of that magnitude, and not run out of steam. 90 minutes on the pitch, not needed to come off. Must have been rusted. It must have been, but didn't show it. He was absolutely fantastic. Really was.
Roadblock, being a member now for 20 months, thank you very much. If we won something this season and we finish in the top 4 next year, would you want to win something again or have Man United and Everton relegated? Very interesting question. Ian Fleming, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says, can't believe I thought we would get beat. I need to have more faith in the team. And Toon Army Steve, thank you for your $4.99. He says, was going to send this to Amanda towards getting a new number 6, but Big Joe played that role so brilliantly last night. Next week, he's our goalkeeper. I mean, the jobs that we're asked to do, Alex, every single man on that pitch did it to a T, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm quite pleased with the media coverage of everything, because it looks like every neutral and most media outlets have gotten hold of this, of the fact that we did play a heavily rotated squad, 8 changes. Our backline was all fullbacks.
7 of the starting lineup, Alex, were from the previous regime. We need to make a point of that, because everybody says, "Oh, we've bought the wins, we've bought this," but we haven't. Let's be honest here. 7 of that starting 11 were from the previous regime. Me and Billy mentioned it last night. It's an incredible achievement. It
is, and it's really nice that the national media and all the neutrals have kind of gotten hold of it, because it makes it all the funnier against Manchester United, because we were just a better team on the night in every capacity, every single place on the pitch. We were completely just dominant. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Somebody mentioned Miggy's playing on the left as well. But I'm sure we'll go on to that. But it is worth pointing out that he still didn't do crossy things. He got to the appropriate zones and then was doing There were a lot of decent passing sequences with Willock, and he was letting Willock do the byline stuff or driving into the box.
Yeah, but do you not think, Alex, that was because we didn't really put a lot of crosses in last night because there wasn't any striker there?
Gordon. Yeah, it was
Because
Gordon.
Gordon was coming over. He was all over the pitch, to be fair to Gordon, but there was a lot. It was very heavily stacked on the left-hand side at times.
Yeah, but again, we didn't need Miggy delivering left-footed crosses.
We didn't.
Even if Wilson was playing, to be fair, I think doing what we did, getting Willock closer to goal was better. Better cutbacks, little dinks to the back post. It's more dangerous. You're going to create a higher value opportunity. So it's something I'd forgotten we did quite as often as that. Isak was quite good at that when he was out left. Willock does the same. Is just confusing the man, thinking the cross is coming in, and then just driving into the box just completely freely. It's so dangerous. It's not something we've seen for a little while because Gordon doesn't tend to do that as much. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just an extra dynamic. So hopefully we can see a bit of Gordon and Willock teaming up on that. Actually, that's a frightening thought because of Willock's athleticism and skill, having Gordon and Willock on the left side together, combining, it's just so exciting, especially based on some of the rotation players last night and some of the returning players. It was just magnificent.
Barry the Beast says Joe Linton's tackle on Amrabat. Yeah, look, Goldbridge. I had to watch his little clips that they do of him, and he was very praising of the first goal. He said it was a beautiful, beautiful goal from Newcastle and applauded it. He thought the third goal, there was a foul on the Man United player, but there wasn't. It was a brilliant tackle by Joe Linton, and of course the rest is history. Again, though, Billy, we have to talk about Livramento coming into the side again. Was given man of the match by the Sky cameras. He was my man of the match. I know some people are saying Joe Linton. It's very hard to pick a man of the match, actually, from the performances that we gave last night. You could look at Emil Kraft. You could look at Dummett, who was incredible. You could look at a lot of players. But Livramento, clearly has been working with Kieran Trippier because some of the traits that Livramento showed last night were very Trippier-esque, if I do say so. And setting up the first goal was just a thing of magnificence. To tackle Garnacho and then make a 70-yard run, drifting past Man United players like they weren't there. It was a joy to watch.
Yeah, he defends in the Trippier mould, definitely. I think going forward, he's different. He doesn't kind of get crosses in and things like that. Doesn't offer set pieces. But there's no drop-off for me now between Trippier being rested and Livramento coming in.
Yeah.
Two performances, both outstanding performances. Both people who's marking. He marked out of the game. Garnacho's a dangerous player on his day. He's only young, but he has destroyed right-backs in the past. None of it with Tino Livramento. Then to set the goal up in the way he did, used his legs rather than passing. It was a phenomenal piece of play. So, yeah, he's a star already, in my opinion, and he's going to get better and better and better and better. Absolutely he is.
Absolutely. Chris makes a very good point here. Compare that weekend side performance to the FA Cup against Wednesday last season. Okay, we had a little better quality yesterday, but it's indicative of how far the whole squad has come. Absolutely, 100%. Some of those players,
Great point.
When we just didn't turn up against Sheffield Wednesday, we looked all over the place. But last night, it's the manager has got to take a lot of praise for this, for the way he's brought these players to a different level. And, they may not have the skill set of the starting 11 that we would normally see for Newcastle United, but they have obviously listened and learned and took a lot of attention to what Eddie's done with them, because the positional sense is all there. Dummett and Kraft, the positional play last night was sensational. They weren't caught out at all. Not once. Bruno Fernandes got in the second half, I think, and fluffed the shot up. But that was the only one that I can remember where they actually broke us down, regarding the back four. And they have to. Eddie's got to take a monumental bit of praise for what he's doing with his football club. It's just some of those players who Billy says rightly so were written off, completely written off. Yet they're still here, and they just. I think they wanted to let everybody know that they're still here and they're still there to help Newcastle United in any capacity they can. Samsonite Dove, thank you for your 50 Danish kroner. He says, man of the match for me was Gordon, involved in all three goals. On Hall's goal, he shoulders Maguire into making a weak clearance that lands at Hall's feet. Yeah, he played his role. He played his role. And if he's your man of the match, Samsonite, that's not a problem at all. I think you could, as I say, you could literally put a hand in a bag and pick a number out for man of the match last night. I do believe that. Man United, though, Billy, should have been down to 10 men. obviously, I mean, listen, Hannibal, I don't know what he was playing at. The first tackle was awful. He got booked for that. Then he actually threw the ball away, which should have got another yellow card. And then he makes a horrible tackle on Emil Kraft, which was another yellow.
Yeah, but I mean, that aside, I thought the referee was pretty good, actually. I thought he had a really good game. And that's for our subscriber whose relative it is that was doing the job.
He did, actually.
Yeah.
We didn't complain about the referee much yesterday.
No,
I mean,
but
sometimes we do when he first makes a decision and we'll kick off and say, oh, that's terrible. But on reflection, you look at the chance and think, yeah, he was right.
how Hannibal said the pitch there was wrong. He should have, even Gavin Neville said he should have been off. So
Yeah.
if Gavin Neville said he should have been off, he probably should have been in front of the judge with a hanging thing above his head, because he should have been off. The second tackle on Kraft was a definite yellow card. And what I was pleased about it was what he was doing, trying to get into bully our players. Joe Linton stood up to him and put him in his place. Really, he didn't see him after that at all. He went into his shell, and in the end, he got taken off, didn't he?
He did, but Joe Linton did that very. He kept his discipline as well, Alex, which was good to see. He was strong. He was physical, but he was also. I think he did get booked. I think, but he was very disciplined last night.
Yeah, so this is something I mentioned on the podcast with Billy last night. It's a different performance from Joe Linton. It's one that he offered in the Man City game as well, but not since. But then again, last night it seems to be when it's a rotated side and when there is more responsibility put upon him, he steps up and he's calmer. His decision making is better. He's more careful with the ball. He's more disciplined, and it seems to be the two cup games where he's looked exceptional. He's playing his age. He's 27 now. He's playing like he's a really experienced player. Whereas there are certain Premier League games where he doesn't have that, where he plays like he's still 22, 23, albeit still a destroyer. But it was one of those games where it was much better. It was a lot of destroyer numbers in terms of defensive output, but it was also very cheeky, but careful when necessary. It was, and again, the buzzword of last night's podcast with Billy was mature. So many mature performances from players. We mentioned Gordon, and we'll talk about him when we do player ratings, and we'll go into a bit more depth. But at the moment, just maturity from Joe Linton specifically as well was very, very impressive. Yeah.
Cynical Jim says, I think that applause from Goldbridge was sarcasm. It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't at all. He applauded the goal. Don't get me wrong. I'll give Goldbridge stick as much as the next person for some of the stuff he comes out with, but he genuinely was impressed with that goal, and credit where it's due. You see a good goal, you applaud it. We've done that in our commentary when a goal's gone against us, but it's been a cracking goal. We've acknowledged that it was a brilliant goal. Seattle Geordie, thanks for your $10 super chat. He says, it's Old Trafford. You are a goal behind before you kick a ball, usually a penalty. Ferguson needs to start passing notes to Ten Hag, letting him know exactly what you need players in the box to get them. Well, Man United were just all over the shop. And I think, but as usual, Billy, the absolute piss pots of the media, shall we say, of course, it's all about Man United today. It's all about the meltdown. Every single hour on Sky Sports News was about, interviewing Man United fans and the massive crisis, and very little given to Newcastle United and their fantastic performance.
No, I mean, that's the nature of the game, isn't it? They're the most supported side in the country, not by good fans, I would say. But of course, in that state, then the media have got to kind of cater to those people who are the majority, I guess, and that's what they do. As bad as it is, I mean, to me, it wasn't about them being bad. They were bad, but only because we made them look bad, and that hasn't come out at all in the media, and it isn't going to, is it? Let's be honest. No,
it won't. We never get the kind of credit that we deserve, Alex, do we? And it was always going to be about a Man United meltdown because whatever we did last night.
I think they were complimentary at the time, but then as more and more time has passed, the narrative has shifted towards, is Ten Hag going to get sacked? Man United were poor, which was to be expected. But they were I'm slightly more positive about it because I felt like in the moment, Gary Neville was extremely complimentary. A lot of people said we've just played very well. It's the rotation and he has done so well. I felt like we got reasonably good. But again, I'm comparing it to what we normally get, which is absolutely nothing. So it's improving. We can't expect them to understand football in its entirety and stop being Big Six entitled people immediately. It's got to be, football education is improving. People are understanding football a lot more People are watching a lot of different content instead of only listening to pundits who talk about the game in a very particular way. People are now listening to, I wasn't a big fan of O'Neill's thing that he did on that Monday Night Football with the analysis. However, it's refreshing. It's different. People like listening to football in a different way and learning. And people are watching more neutral games and things like that. So it will come. It will come. They will have to take notice because we just keep winning. It's the same as the season we call it. Well, last year when we qualified for the Champions League, the first half of the season, it was, they're doing really well, but it will drop off. They're doing really well, but it'll probably drop off, won't it? And then it didn't, and they just had to give us more coverage because we were challenging for the top four. They just had to give in and give us more TV slots, more attention, and this will continue. It will continue, and we've just got to be patient. It will come. It will come.
Julie J says, Man United fan this morning saying Joe Linton should have had 6 yellow cards. I said, you can't get 6 yellow cards in a game. Do you know the rules of football? They just don't like it. It's different when, they call, what they call the centre-back, Martinez, the butcher. When he makes tackles, all the brilliant tackles there, but because it's Joe Linton and it's not a Man United player, the kick and scream. One change did come last night, which used to didn't predict. I have to say that. Used to did not. Was the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's right.
T Simcox, thank you very much for T Simcox. Thanks for your $1.99 super chat. Yeah, you talked about it, but you were swayed by Billy Bob.
Oh, that was, yeah.
And you ended up both putting Nick Pope in. I said Dubravka.
I do think we did cover. I was quite proud of our preview because I think we generally did that well enough that we obviously we did predict many different lineups, but we covered a lot of possibilities, and I think what we actually played was a shape and a generally. I think we got most of the personnel. I think we got one of the team sheets exactly like that, albeit Bruno and not Longstaff. So we nearly got one of them spot on. So we toyed with the idea of that once.
I mentioned Longstaff, didn't I? Because I said he had an illness and maybe he'd be okay to play. I
mean, look, Longstaff was fantastic again last night, and he could have had a wonderful goal in the second half, which just missed the post by about a foot. It was a fabulous effort. But Billy Dubravka came in, and he was solid as a rock last night. And a lot of people have been asking the question today. Does he rest Nick Pope for a while? Given what's happened to Nick Pope the last few games. Dubravka's distribution was superb last night. I don't think he missed a pass. He was confident coming out, catching the ball. He didn't miss a pass, Alex.
Well, I mean, he's got 19 out of 37, so he missed more than a pass.
That's bollocks. I didn't see him misplace one pass to Dubravka last night.
But you've got to understand
that goes on goal kicks as well.
Of course, yeah.
So
that's
talking
fine
about
for a goalkeeper. Yeah. That's the success percentage is completely different.
I'm talking about the passing to his fullbacks or the kick, the chips out and stuff that he's aimed for a pass, not a
general
goal kick.
Hoofball clearance goal kicks. It's not your fault if necessarily somebody gets out
if they don't win a header, is it? Exactly. But I thought he was a lot stronger, Billy, and looked very reliable last night.
Yeah, but let's face it, he had nothing to do. Let's be honest. But what he did have to do, he did really well. His distribution out to the fullbacks was good. From
Mason Mount shots.
From the deck, a couple of long range shots, one from Mason Mount, one from Casemiro. And that was it. That's all he really had to do. And shots he'd be expected to save. I mean, the Mason Mount one was a good height for him, and the Casemiro one didn't have any power in it. So, saves-wise, nothing to do. But general goalkeeping-wise, the command of his box, distribution, exemplary.
I like Matt's comment there. It was nice not to have VAR for a night. Yeah, the game just flowed. It was, I have to agree with that. It was nice just to score a goal and not think, oh, hang on a minute, they're going to pull this back for whatever reason. Steve-O says the team spirit is just amazing between all the players and coaching staff and the fans. We are just loving it. Indeed, we are. And at the end of the game last night, Joe Linton singing "Tell Me Ma" was hilarious. Walking towards the fans, it was just the togetherness, Alex, of the team is pretty incredible. And I saw that wet wipe from the United stand that Beth had a go saying, "Oh, I can't stand Newcastle," and I don't know whether you've seen it, Alex. It can't stand Newcastle taking photos because they've beat Man United. Well, no, we take photos of every victory. It's called making memories, Beth, making memories and enjoying themselves and team spirit, something you bunch of twats haven't got. But it's great to see, Alex, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. It's indicative of a group of people who only watch certain types of football. It's the same as, there was a clip that was circulating a few weeks ago from a couple of Arsenal lads. I think I don't know if they're YouTubers or if they're content creators, but they were like, oh yeah, but everyone has like a Prem team though, innit? You can't just support like Accrington Stanley. You've got to have like a Prem team though. Like they're not real football fans. They just don't get it. They don't get what it is. It's not about being fashionable. It's about the passion. It's about, it's literally the Bobby Robson quote. That is football to probably a lot of us here. And it's just something that they'll just never understand. And, it's passion. And I'll move away from that and just state that, yeah, we talked about, we lost to Man City. We lost to Liverpool. Our mentality wasn't quite there. We dropped our heads. We should have got more points from those games. We were the better team against Liverpool. We dropped our heads again against Brighton. And we've all stated that the Champions League games will help improve our mentality. We'll be stronger for them. And I think the same can be said of the Carabao Cup campaign last year. We've been there, done that. We've been to Wembley. We've been through that emotional roller coaster. And again, look at Joe Linton. He knows the songs. He knows what's expected. He understands the competition.
They all know the songs. They did that video earlier on in the season, didn't they, when they were guessed the song, and they knew them all.
But I think this will help. I think you've the core of the squad got through to that final last year. We've knocked out the treble winners. We've knocked out the Carabao Cup champions. We've got Chelsea next, and they all know that they're good enough. They're all winners. That's why Eddie Howe signed a lot of them, and the ones who were there before. They've got that winning mentality. A lot of them now. They'll be well up for this. They'll think they can win the cup.
The Chelsea thing doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about going to Stamford Bridge because personally I think we'll turn them over. But they only beat Blackburn 2-0. They didn't exactly make themselves.
It's worth watching that game again, by the way, because that Adam Wharton, who we've done in a few transfer shows, apparently had a very good game. So I need to go and watch that.
Well, it's live on Sky on the Tuesday, the 19th of December. Yeah,
8:00 kickoff again, isn't it? In London. Sky Lover Man United lost. It must be party time for them when they do. King Hoddle says they aren't even the most supported team in Manchester. No, that would be Bury. I totally agree, Paul. We got Nout. What's he talking about there? We got Nout.
Media coverage.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Anthony Stafford, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says, what's the situation regarding Lewis Hall playing against Chelsea? Can he? I told you last night, Chelsea or Liverpool away. You did, Anthony, yes. I believe, I haven't really looked into it. I don't know how it works for the Carabao.
Jordan Cronin's gone and apparently researched it and said that he can't play. It's at the discretion of Chelsea, but... Yeah. I'm not 100% convinced by that. I think we'll wait and see.
Maybe Newcastle will ask for permission from Chelsea if he can play, because look, he's not going back. He's not going back to Chelsea, is he? Let's be honest.
No, but they're not going to help us, are they? Let's be honest.
That's a good point, Billy. Vincent says we never get enough credit for playing a reserve team and getting a result away. All media attention is on how much they're in shambles. It was always going to happen. It was always going to happen. Bruno Genius, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says Man United fans sound very keen on a mass clear out instead of sacking Eric Ten Hag. Any players there you would like to see Eddie work his magic on for the Toon? Oh, good question.
I think Jadon Sancho would be a good boy.
Sancho, yeah. Please, nobody give me Rashford. Nobody give me Rashford. Listen, Rashford came on last night and did absolutely bottle, by the way. He has a good spell of 5 or 6 games, normally around, funny enough, when internationals are coming up. He starts, playing a bit decent. But you tell me, we said this last night, who would you rather have? Anthony Gordon at the moment or Marcus Rashford? I know who...
Yeah, but you've got to understand, Marcus Rashford, give him 12 months in an Eddie Howe side and the coaching and the differences. And you could say that a lot about a lot of the players from Manchester United. If you take one of them and you put them in a completely different setting, in our setting, they would be fine. I think you could take loads of players and they'd be fine. Sancho, Rashford, I think Mason Mount. I think there's loads of players you could take and you could mould and would play well.
Not a chance on Garnacho, not a chance on Anthony. 85 million quid they paid for that Muppet. You know, he's abysmal. But look, there is a few players, yes, that can maybe turn it around. But look, as far as I'm concerned, you know, from an outsider looking in at Manchester United, I think they are. The players have lost confidence in the manager. He's lost the dressing room, I think, Billy.
Without a doubt, you can see by the way that the whinging and whining at the referee for anything really. They're not going in for second balls. They're all second to the first ball. There's no desire in that side whatsoever, and that's because the manager's worn them down. I think the way he's treated certain players, the way he's treated Jadon Sancho, it's got to kind of rub off on the rest of the squad. It has to, and I think he's lost his dressing room, and I think I'll be amazed if he was there in a fortnight's time. I really would.
I mean, there was loads of clips last night of Man United fans having a dig at him. Probably didn't understand the Cockney accent of the Manchester United fans, of course. Connor says, I've seen a Man United channel today called Alice Talks Football, who was very, very praising of Newcastle, which is surprising, and was more on how good we were over Man United being bad. Well, Alice talks a lot of sense. She's always been very, very kind about Newcastle as well. She does speak a lot of sense, and she's actually going to be on the channel very soon. I've been in touch with Alice, and she's agreed to come on. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll get Alice on and have a chat about all things football, because she does a really good channel. She's really, I think the good thing about watching Alice is she's not sort of biased towards anybody. She just really likes football. Yes, she supports Manchester United, but she's also very praising of a lot of other football clubs, including Newcastle. She's not buying into all this, or, they've been bought by the Saudis and all of this. She looks at it from a football point of view, and I think that's why she's very popular with not just Man United fans, but of course football fans as well, because she talks sense and isn't sort of biased and wants to shout teams down just because they're doing well. So we'll hopefully get Alice on in the next couple of weeks. Paul says, I loved how solid Dubravka looked, so much more confident with the ball at his feet. Fantastic. T. Simcox, I think we've done that super chat, that 199, haven't we? Let's have a look. Keith Dites, thank you for being a member for 20 months. He says, Man United have a problem only Steve Bruce can fix. Yeah, I've seen somebody put that on social media earlier on today. Stiff Gator says, we annoyed at Dubravka for going to Man United, but there is no denying his ability, his quality. Listen, it's all gone now. He's a Newcastle United player at the minute, and look, if he starts the games, we support him. We're Newcastle fans, and look, he was as happy as anybody last night that we won. He was jumping up and down when we got the third goal. When Willock scored, you could see him in the background celebrating with the team and the fans at the end. He is one of us. So look, maybe we were a little harsh on him, I don't know, but he's back now. He's our keeper, and let's move forward. Jimmy Mayer says, just come on to say, still buzzing after last night's performance by the B team. Are they our ideal first team? No. Let's not go too far. Jam Stasher says, Kraft was the surprise start for me, coming in at centre back and being away for so long. He was brilliant. But of course, big night, Alex, for Sean Longstaff last night, 150th appearance for the club. Of course, he's one of our own and captained the side and didn't let us down at all last night.
Yeah, I mean, captain's performance. It's lovely to be able to say, because he's deserved it. He's been exceptional this season. It's just been strength to strength for him. It really has. We mentioned the season that Eddie Howe came in. A lot of people saying, he's got to go in the summer and all of this, and it's been well documented that he wasn't sure what his contract situation was going to be. Eddie Howe wasn't even aware of it. Sean had to go and speak to him about it. He got a new contract. A lot of people were umming and ahhing. We did have a look that summer about what could Longstaff become, and there was one element in there we saw, which was he was in the 96th percentile for pressures when FBref still had the pressures statistic before Opta took over. And we said, well, maybe there's a player in there he can work with. And ever since then, he's just been getting better and better and better and better. He's had spells where he's been a little bit injured, where he's had to regain his form, but his positioning, technical ability, leadership, offensive contributions, goal scoring, all of it. And then he wore the armband last night, which I feel like has capped. I feel like I know we're only in sort of November, but I feel like we've finished a chapter in a book. I feel like it's a nice door closed that he's got this far now, and we can finally say, look, he's a good player. He's more than good enough to be in this squad, and he's more than good enough to be in this first team. I think it's just an accepted fact now. And again, I'm happy. It's not my business. But if people want to have opinions on people's ability, that's fine. But I'm seriously going to question your football knowledge if you walk in here and say Sean's not good enough for the first team.
Is he a future captain in your eyes, guys? Is he a future captain?
Potentially.
Depends on his levels, doesn't it? Because
and signings and all sorts. There's lots of variables to put into the equation, but
yeah,
potentially, no doubt about it. I don't. He must be the next England squad. He absolutely must be.
He's got to be. Well, it's a shambles of him and Gordon aren't in it. It's an absolute. But it is Gareth Southgate.
And if Willock maintains that form, he'll be in it as well. He all should be.
Not small, just still loading. Thank you for becoming a new member of the channel. Much appreciated, and thank you for your ongoing support and welcome to the family. Crypto Rambo, thank you very much for your $10 super chat. He says those expert pundits on TalkSport or Sky Sports make me extremely angry talking about who could replace Ten Hag. They mentioned Emery, De Zerbi, Thomas Frank. No mention of Eddie. The disrespect is crazy. Well, I don't want to mention with Man United.
He's not going to step down, is he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it will be a step down by the time
it is now.
Man United sort themselves out. It is now, yeah. It absolutely is, without a shadow of a doubt. Vincent says, how we have Dan Ashworth blows my mind. Just look at the job he's done for England and Brighton. Our club is run the proper way, and I'm grateful every day that we're not run like how Manchester United are. A lot of compliments coming in for him today, Billy, including from Gary Neville himself.
Yeah, I think Gary Neville was trying to tout him.
Yeah, I got that feeling as well, yeah.
He's been calling for a sporting director at Manchester United for a long time now. They haven't got one. They're the only club in the Premier League that don't have a sporting director. So it's a big bugbear of Gary Neville's, and to try and poach the best. I guess if you're going to poach anyone, that's the one you go for. But again, why would you take a step down from Newcastle United to Manchester United? Because at the moment it is, and it will be forevermore, as far as I can see.
Yeah, I agree. John says the Chelsea fans are claiming that the draw was fixed. They're bricking it. I saw a couple of Chelsea fans saying that, and I thought, wow, how times have changed. The Chelsea fans are actually saying that the draw is fixed because they got us. It's unreal. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it.
Fallen.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Anyway, guys, another new member just popping up there. We have Gary Riley. Welcome to Members Club, Gary. Thank you for your support and welcome to the family. It is time for player ratings. This should be very interesting. Of course, play along with us in the chat, guys. Let us know what you think the players deserve and see if you agree with us. We'll see how it goes tonight. We're going to start off with Martin Dubravka. Billy.
I don't think he had a lot to do, personally. But what he did do was exemplary.
But what he did do was brilliant, and that's what you need to take into consideration.
And his distribution from feet, I mean, from the eye, the stats say different, but from the eye, look great, especially floating out to the right back position and the left back position. Clean sheet at Old Trafford. Not many Newcastle United goalkeepers can say that. I'm going to give him a 9.
Okay. Alex?
I feel like 9's a little bit generous, but I guess if we throw in the added context of he's not played in a long time, so to come in and be that comfortable with saves and just distribution and with his feet, as you've all said, into an atmosphere like, well, okay, wrong choice of words there because there was no atmosphere, at least not from their fans.
No. Okay,
so it's in Old Trafford. I think a 9's fair. I don't think the distribution was as good as everyone's saying. It was okay.
What the hell were you watching?
It was fine.
He didn't misplace a pass. Maybe it's a goal kick. Didn't win. He did not misplace a pass.
Let's not forget he didn't have the option of playing it short to Kraft or Dummett really either, did he?
No, he floated balls out to the right and left, which he never missed one.
I mean, it was fine. It wasn't great, but it was fine. Like, I'm still giving him a 9. That's still an outrageously high
yeah.
score. But yeah, he kept a clean sheet at Old Trafford. We won the game 3-0. He was solid. Saves were good. He looked fine. He looked comfortable. You know, he's getting older. We've got to remember he's 34 now. He's not, he's not a spring chicken anymore. So yeah, 9.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say from what I thought he did brilliantly. Made a very, very good save from Mason Mount's long shot. His passing for me was superb. Very good in the box. He's getting a 10. Let's move on to Tino Livramento. 10 from me. There's really nothing I can say to back the 10 up because he was superb. End of. Alex.
Yeah, I think he deserves a 10.
You think?
Well, I'm giving him a 10. Let's not be pedantic. Like defensive contributions, yeah. Considering in the first 10 minutes, Garnacho got the better of him twice in the first 10 minutes, and some of the Man United fans were kind of going and all of that. He didn't care. Absolutely didn't even give it a second thought. He shrugged it off, carried on with the duels. And I think those 2 that he lost were the only 2 he lost for the entire game. Because he won 8 out of 10. So I think the first 2 were those 2 in the opening 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously the driving run for the assist. Just the maturity, the strength, and what he does defensively and offensively. I know I don't want to talk about Dan Burn because it's a bit unfair. However, when we talk about what we're possibly missing by not having a balanced fullback, it's that. That is what we're talking about. When we want a fullback who can kind of do a bit of everything, that's what we're talking about. Obviously, a player of Tino Livramento's quality and his potential is enormous, and they're expensive. But that's exactly what we're talking about, because he was really solid defensively. It was a calm, mature performance from somebody who's a very young man. And the offensive threat was enormous as well. He scored a 7.8 on SofaScore, which is extremely high for SofaScore for a fullback. Yeah, really, really, really solid.
7.8. That's just ridiculous.
Considering he didn't score and didn't sort of, Trippier gets ludicrously high ones because he takes all the set pieces and stuff that inflates his data. But Tino didn't get the luxury of any of that. He just got an organic 7.8 just through running with the ball, winning his duels, getting an assist. He did it all hard graft. He didn't get any. His data's not inflated by anything. It was all his work. So I'm going to 100% a 10.
Okay, Billy.
Yeah, the easy 10. Just what you both said. One other thing I want to say is when Matt Ritchie came off and he came on, Trippier came on, he pushed into a wide right position more forward and totally closed down their left-hand side, which was looking a bit dangerous for a little while there when Matt Ritchie was knackered. So, 10 out of 10, absolutely.
Okay, across to the other fullback now, Lewis Hall. Billy?
Well, he scored a fantastic volley. The only thing I can say again about him, sometimes he was overconfident in what he was doing, trying to play a little bit too much football in wrong areas, but that didn't happen often. Got a wonderful left foot, joined the attack perfectly, some good tackles also. For the goal, added on to what else he did, I'm going to give him a 10.
Alex?
He deserves a 10. He's a fullback who scored a goal, and it was a mature performance and away at Old Trafford. I don't see how anybody can give him less than a 10, because he was really, really solid defensively, offensively, drifted into midfield where necessary. He was careful on the ball. He was strong in his duels. The passing sequences were really, really nice. And he scored. It's a fullback. It's got to be a 10. I don't know how he gets anything less than a 10. I really don't. If anybody gives him less than a 10,
start for the club.
Got to explain it.
Yeah.
His second start for the club. Yeah. And, as was Livramento's, just outrageously good. Yeah, sometimes you'll give the ball, he got a bit too, I don't know whether it was cocky. He just sort of overplayed a little bit and lost the ball a couple of times.
A bit of overconfidence.
Yeah, which will come with age, of course. And so 10 for me as well. Absolutely superb. Right, we'll do both the centre-backs at the same time tonight, because if any of you give the two centre-backs lower than a 10, then you're fired. So I'm going 10 for Dummett and 10 for Emil Kraft. They were superb last night. Given that we looked at that before the game and thought, oh, hang on a minute, Dummett and Emil Kraft as our centre-backs at Old Trafford against Manchester United. We even spoke about it in the build-up to the game, Billy, before the kick-off. They were just wonderful last night, and hats off to them, and especially to Kraft, who's been out for so long with a horrendous injury, to come back and play 94 minutes at Old Trafford and record a clean sheet. Superb. Both 10s for me. Alex?
I mean, dare I say it, looking at Paul Dummett's data, it's profiling exactly like Botman's normally does, which is hilarious.
That's how well he played.
4 out of 5 aerial duels, 87% passing accuracy, and he hit 3 out of his 4 long balls. Nice and tidy, did everything he needed to do, really solid. It's the kind of numbers that Botman produces in that position. And obviously he's not Botman, but we're judging him on that game and that game. That's probably his. I don't want to say his best game in a shirt in a black and white shirt, because I'm sure he's had other more interesting games. But in terms of footballing ability and displaying how good you are, that probably is his best performance in terms of probably the best he's given in terms of footballing technical quality and focus. It's probably his most complete performance. Yeah,
I think with Paul Dummett, I mean, listen, he was. A lot of Newcastle fans said many years ago that he would end up as a centre half, because once his pace disappeared a little bit.
Yeah, but he looks like he's got a little bit of that back.
Yeah. I agree.
And again, we're doing both of them. So Emil Kraft as well. Yeah, he didn't put up quite as good data as Dummett in terms of duels and passes, but we just needed him to be solid, and he was. He was really solid. He was focused. He was careful. He mopped up everything. He had a decent offensive header, and for somebody who's not played for 15 months and who is a right back, no, it can't be any lower than a 10 for me. Again, I've got to give him maximum points you've got to include the context of everything. 15 months layoff, playing out of position, away at Old Trafford, clean sheet. Got to be a 10. Outrageously good.
Yep. Guys, we've got 1,300 people watching. Thank you very much for joining tonight, but we only have 396 likes. We want to try and get up to about 600, guys. So just take a second out to hit that thumbs up button for us now and see how many likes we can end up with by the end of the show, please. It's a massive help to the channel. It keeps us in the search results, which, of course, lets fellow fans like yourselves find the channel and hopefully subscribe in the future. It's a massive help to us. Right, we'll go into midfield now with
Jolet.
Oh, sorry, Billy. Go on.
Paul Dummett, 10 out of 10. While he was putting up Botman stats, he also did a bit of Fabian Schär for the second goal when he ran through the attack and into the midfield and was fouled before the free kick.
Yes, he did.
10 out of 10, outstanding performance. Emil Kraft was my man of the match, actually. I'm giving him an obvious 10. The way he defended, nipping in before the attacker get the ball, last gasp tackle for the Martial chance in the first half. Just a phenomenal performance from someone like, as has been stated, hasn't played 15 months. Never run out of steam either. My man of the match, Emil Kraft.
I do need to just mention that Ian Skinner got timed out by accident by somebody. So Ian, if you hear him, it was done by accident. So when the timeout expires, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Apologies, Ian. But as I said, we have acknowledged that. So you'll be back shortly, Mehdi. Spike Milligan, thank you for your £10 super chat. He says NUFC 10, Eddie Howe 10, fans 10, and the Toon Review 10. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, Spike. Right, we'll move into the midfield now, and we'll start with Joe Linton. Alex.
I'm going to give him a 9. Well, I mean, there was, there were certain things. 4 out of 13 ground duels. He got booked, but again, it's one of those games. You kind of expect him to get booked. It's like he does it for the good of the team sometimes, but sometimes not. Again, he's credited with an assist. A very, very mature performance. 4 tackles, 2 interceptions. He was really, really, really solid. Very different kind of display from Joe Linton yesterday. But I'm not sure if considering some of the games he's had in the past, I can't give that a 10. He's had games where he scored 2 goals and
Alex, you're not talking about the games. You're talking about that game.
I've got to give it. Yeah, the context of everything. Yeah, it's a 9. It's not a 10 out of 10.
Well, it is for me. I thought he was our engine last night. He was just superb. Back to his best. Dominating the midfield, dominating Man United's midfield. The tackle for Willock's goal was absolutely brilliant. He was in the air. He was winning headers. He was defending. He was just all over that pitch last night, giving 110%. And everything he did was absolutely brilliant. And, he's had a few rotten games lately, Joe Linton, getting back to full fitness. But last night, immense, absolutely immense. And he was just our engine. So a 10 from me. Billy?
Well, we have questioned if he actually had the discipline to play the number 6 role. And last night, he played number 6 role magnificently. Defensively, headers, last pass tackles, blocks, did all that stuff. Set us on the front foot. The tackle on my back was brilliant. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 10 also.
And of course, don't forget his singing at the end of the game, and when he was smiling at the Man United fans when the corner flag, he was just looking up and smiling at them because he was obviously getting a load of abuse, and he just smiled at them. I just thought brilliant. Right, Sean Longstaff, Billy.
Captain's performance, another 10. Yeah, just brilliant. Kept us moving. Energy. The volley that didn't go in by the merest of fag paper that had gone in. Good Lord, I think would have all jumped in the air.
Fag paper.
Yeah, it was so close to the post, wasn't it? And
yeah.
Gary Neville actually made an orgasm type sound because he thought he was in. Similar to
Yeah,
what
it was
he
one of
made
them. Like he did against Barcelona that time.
Yeah,
for Chelsea. Yeah, I remember that.
Phenomenal performance from last night's captain and 150 appearances. Let's have another 150 more like that, please. He was fantastic, and he has been all season, to be honest.
Yeah. Same as me, 10 for Sean. I thought he was superb last night. Captain, 150th appearance. And he just, again, him and Joe Linton, just the tackles they were making, just getting stuck in. Sean again, making runs into the box, making runs out wide. Incredible engine on him. 10 for me. Alex?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was similar to Joe Linton's performance, but again, the shot and the sort of leadership and the armband, the context, I feel like I'm going to give him the 10. I'm going to give him a little bit more. He looked, considering he's looked jaded in the last 20 to 30 minutes, the last two performances. I didn't really see that last night. He was energetic. We saw him do some left-sided combinations and get involved on the left side as well, which was we don't really see that often. We generally see sort of the right side half space. And yeah, I'm thrilled to see him wear the armband, and I think he did it justice. I think he was absolutely exceptional. 10 out of 10.
Yep. I'm seeing some people say, this is a bit overboard. You know what I mean? Listen, how many times have we been slammed in the comments for being negative with our player ratings? And finally, it's not just, I need to say this, right?
3-0 away.
This is the thing. Right, I need to say this, and we're all happy. We're all over the moon. We're all bouncing as Newcastle fans right now, okay? But it wasn't just the performance from the players last night. It was who was on the pitch last night, okay? 7 of those players were from our previous regime when we've all been slagged off for saying, you've spent millions and millions, and that's why you suddenly turned it around. No. Look at that team last night, and we had 7 of the 11 from the previous regime who couldn't kick a football, who were dreadful, who were getting relegated. They were going into the abyss. But Eddie's come in, he's rejuvenated them, and the players have also listened to Eddie Howe and took on his guidance and have improved massively. So it's not just about the result or the players, it's about the whole thing. Who was on the pitch last night, etc. That is why we're doing what we're doing, and we're positive. And, I'm slamming 10s out left, right, and centre because I thought we were awesome last night, given who was on the pitch. Right, we'll move to Joe Willock. Billy.
10. Fantastic goal. Back to his old self. He's got a yard of pace back that he didn't have in his previous 2 appearances. Used the ball nicely as well. Lasted the game longer than usual as well, but he did come off towards the end. He had run his socks off.
Oh, he was knackered.
Just to see that extra yard of pace back in his game is fantastic for us. And the finish for the goal was absolutely fantastic. A place shot, but with power as well. The side of his right foot. Amazing shot. A great goal. 10 out of 10.
Yep. Alex?
Yeah, I've got 100% got to give him a 10 because he made 2 substitute appearances and been really, really tidy, but we were missing the sort of powerful driving runs. He implemented them straight away last night. Good physically, helped control the ball. Passing was really, really tidy, linked up really well with others. The runs were there. The drives into the box were there. He scored a goal. But I mean, it's insane because we've had a lot of players that take a while to get going again. Whereas Willock was playing out of his skin towards the end of last season. He was outrageous. Some of the games, that period of time when we beat Tottenham, we beat Everton. Willock was part of that, where we were just absolutely steamrolling teams. We were in such good form.
Pass to Isaac for the goal, the 6-1.
Yeah,
victory at Spurs.
outrageous. Like, and it's no doubt he would have had an England call up, or should have had one at that point in time had he not been injured. And it looks like it's taken him 2 sub appearances and a start, and he looks there. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but that looked fine. And he
I still
hopefully
think
he'll
there'll
build
be
on
another
that.
sort of couple of games where he might play 60, 65 minutes.
There'll be another gear, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ruffiad Bernician says, we need to look at this team. Has not played as a team together before and destroyed a team of £400 million plus. Having second thoughts, all should get a 10. Well, Willock gets a 10 from me. I thought he was just outrageously good yesterday. The goal itself, I mean, the finish was magnificent from Joe, but the tackle by Joe Linton, the run from Anthony Gordon to take the defenders, but he still had players all over him, Joe Willock, and he still hit that shot perfectly. Absolute sweet as a nut into the bottom corner. Just brilliant. Right, we'll move to the front three now, and we'll start off with, well, we can't start with Matt Targett because he's not getting marked at all, poor sod. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like you couldn't write a script for our injuries. You just couldn't. No. And hopefully we get some good news about Matt Targett, that he's not out too long, but it looked a nasty hamstring injury again. So Miggy came on for him. So Miggy, Billy.
Well, he scored a fantastic goal. Contributed an awful lot. Again, did some nice moves. The ball in for Wilson. The run off for that was good. I feel it's kind of, I don't want to get out. It's 10. Sorry, 10.
Thank you, Billy. I'm giving him a 10 for exactly those reasons. I thought he took the goal brilliantly. He could have, listen, when Livramento played the ball in and he took a very heavy touch, and I thought, Onana's going to come and get this. But Miggy did not lose his concentration. He had Dalot all over the back of him and still had the confidence to finish like he did. And I thought, that little pass into Willock for the second goal, taking 2 defenders out, was brilliant. And I thought Miggy was just awesome last night. I really do. He was helping out defensively as he normally does. He was all over the pitch. 10 for me. Alex?
Yeah, 100% a 10. 100% 10. Work rate, 5 tackles, a goal, a decent key pass as well. Absolutely outrageous. When you consider how much football he's had to play, especially since the Murphy injury, it's suddenly switched there. It's changed, and he's got to be the main guy. And he went and played 2 pretty much full games for Paraguay in the last international break as well.
And let's not forget, Alex, he didn't get a warm-up before coming on last night.
And he didn't get a warm-up, Although I did, to be fair, I don't know if you guys caught that, but Jamal Lascelles had a good word with him. Make sure you warm up, make sure you're warm, be careful. I kind of like that. That was cool. But yeah, Miggy, but in the context of how much football he's played so far, outrageous. So good. 10.
On the other side, of course, was Matt Ritchie. Now, Matt Ritchie, look, he came in and Alex, Matt Ritchie?
I'm going to give him an 8. Okay. Again, I think it's going to be difficult for him to earn a 10 again, unless he gets sort of scores a few goals and does a few things. I don't think he'd got the pace or but again, I'm not blaming him for that. It's fine. He's what is he, 34 now?
Yeah.
However, he gave us how much did he give us? 75-ish minutes, something along those lines. He gave us 75 minutes. Again, technically really, really solid. He contributed in the press as best as he could. It was fine. He was physical. He held his shape. He did everything we needed him to do, and it was a really, really solid performance. And it's great. It's because obviously he's a huge influence in the dressing room to a lot of the younger characters. He's a really important bloke. So for him also to be able to come on and give us that level of performance in a big game, it's useful. And this is what I mentioned to Billy in the podcast last night. If we need him for 5 or 10 appearances this year, I trust him because he looks really solid. So that's useful.
Billy?
Yeah, he ran out of steam towards the end of his kind of game, and they were pressing down that left-hand side. Before that, he did press. He put everything he had into it, gave his all. Some nice set pieces, a couple of nice free kicks in the first half. But certainly not a 10. I won't give him a 9, though.
Well, I'm giving him a 9. I thought he was, again, it's his leadership, isn't it? It's not just what he does on the pitch, but it's on the pitch as well. And I saw him talking a lot of the time to some of the players, G'ing them up and stuff like that, which we know Matt Ritchie gives you. So I'm giving him a 9, but I'm giving him a +1 for the win. So he gets a 10. So let's move on now to Anthony Gordon. Alex.
10 for very different reasons. Something we discussed last night. Probably his most selfless and mature performance in a black and white shirt, because he wasn't the one getting the opportunities. He was the one creating the opportunities for others, not always through passes. It was through endless running, pulling defenders out, creating space for other people, relentless work, going out and drifting out to the left-hand side and helping with build-up. And, he's not a big lad. He was never going to be able to win all sort of the long balls. It didn't matter. All of that attitude that we originally thought was a thing, it's gone. He worked his socks off for the entire game for the cause and not for individual plaudits. And it's exactly what we want from people like him. 10 out of 10. And I feel like it needs more attention, because it's, considering how young he is, very, very mature thing to do from a young man. Exceptional.
And he was very disciplined as well yesterday, which was great to see. 10 for me for exactly the same reasons. Billy?
Yeah, very clever performance, some really clever runs from someone that isn't a natural centre forward. The pace helps him, his work rate, again, exemplary. He can't be anything less than a 10. Superb.
Right, under the substitutions, of course, Bruno, Trippier, and who else came on? There was 3 of them came on. No, there's 4, wasn't? No, 3. Yeah, Dan Burn came on.
Well, Miggy technically, but then so 64 minutes was Bruno and Wilson came on for Willock and Gordon, and then it was Burn and Trippier came on for Hall and Ritchie.
Right. 10s. I'm giving them all 10s. They were just brilliant when they came on. Certainly, let's not forget these substitutions that Eddie Howe did would counteract what Eric Ten Hag done by bringing some of his players on as well. And Eddie said, right, let's bring some of our big guns on as well, just to kill the game off. And that's exactly what we did. I thought they all performed brilliantly. So bugger it. I've given every single player a 10 because it's bloody magnificent. We are massive. We are going to win everything. And I'm just overjoyed at beating the horrible Manx 3-0 on their own patch. Get on, Billy.
Who do first? Bruno and Wilson?
Just all of them, Billy. Just all of them.
Okay, I'll give them all 10 bollocks.
Yes, you will. Of course you will. Alex?
For the subs. Yeah, go on then. Why not?
Yeah. Listen, they were all awesome, weren't they? Let's be honest.
I think special mention to Bruno, who won all of his ground duels. Yeah. And he got us 3 free kicks as well.
He got kicked very near the end as well. We got one on the foot very near the end. And I can't remember who did it. It might have been Fernandez. But he grimaced, but he walked off okay. But he limped down the tunnel, actually. It was a bit concerning.
Yeah, it's just an impact one, Billy. That's just all it was. Hopefully. Impact, I think. Right, Edward Howe. I mean, do we really need to go around here? I mean,
10 for the press conference, the post-match press conference alone.
Yeah.
Because it was hilarious. For anybody who hasn't seen it, he basically answered a question about bringing subs on as, well, we needed to get players on to kind of use that as their mini training session, which obviously is extremely offensive to them, and we don't care because it's technically true because we were just so much better. We needed the lads.
Well, I think basically that was a little dig at Eric Ten Hag for his comments about us last season.
They deserve it,
and I bloody loved it. Jason Tyndall as well, just loving it as well. Listen, it's just a fantastic atmosphere we've got at that club at the minute, isn't it, Billy? It's just awesome to see.
Well, I think you've got to give him a lot of credit for the sub after 2-3 minutes, because we didn't think it was going to be Miggy on. We thought maybe Bruno and, what have you. But to bring on Miggy and kind of have that
attacking mentality,
all of that, he couldn't have been expecting that. Obviously not. 2 minutes and you've got to make a change. And he's already hamstrung in his selection in the first place. Mm-hmm. But they must have had a game plan for them 11 at the start of the game, and to have to change after 2 minutes. Yeah. I don't think that was, but to do it as quickly as he did, it was brilliant bit of managing. Yeah, 10 out of 10, absolutely. Probably maybe his best performance as a manager for us.
Yeah. I just loved the way he answered back when Man United made their changes. He reacted to them, which was nice to see. And there were good, there were good substitutions as well. And hats off to Livramento as well. Excuse me, hats off to Livramento, because Kieran Trippier came on. We thought Trippier might play in the midfield, but he didn't. He went back to right back, and it was Livramento that went and did that job. So absolutely brilliant. So listen, the fans get a 10 as well. Magnificent last night. Sang the hearts out for the full game. And it was just wonderful to see. And long may this continue. There's a tough game coming up against Arsenal now. Back to the bread and butter of the Premier League, of course. But the confidence and the morale and it's just sky high at the moment in that dressing room. And if they can take that into the game on Saturday, listen, for me, Arsenal aren't all that. If we can do what we've done against, the teams like City, United. I know it was a slightly changed Man City team, but listen, they had the big guns on at the end for a long time, and they didn't get a goal. So I think we can win the game on Saturday. I'm very, very confident, but we'll talk about that tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be the match preview, but we might get a few of your fans on as well to have a chat with us. So if you fancy coming on, then we might put the link up about 40 odd minutes into the show and get yous on for, tell us what you think of the certainly the win last night, and of course the game coming up on Saturday. So we will do the match preview as normal, but then the last part of the show, we might do a Face the Lads a little bit and get you guys on to come and have a chat with us and see how you're feeling out there in YouTube world about the game on Saturday and where we can go in the Carabao. Can we get to the final again? And if we do get to the final, we've done it the bloody hard way this time. If we get to the final, we would have knocked out Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and then we'll probably get Liverpool in the semis, and then Port Vale in the final. And I did see a comment before saying we'd probably lose to Port Vale. Wouldn't that be just typical Newcastle United? I don't think those days are here anymore, quite honestly. I think if we were to meet Port Vale, who were doing incredibly well to get to the quarterfinals, by the way, hats off to them. And they played home to Middlesbrough in the quarterfinals, so who says they can't win that one? Incredible. It really is how cup competitions turn out.
It's with 4 games from European football guaranteed. Once you've got that off your back, you can have an unpressured run for the title, can't we? Let's be honest. Absolutely,
yeah. We have hit the 600 likes, guys. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for watching tonight. Don't forget, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, we will have the match preview with us three. Alex's graphics will be back, of course, as well, where we'll take an in-depth look at Arsenal and hopefully get a few of you on at the back end of the show. Tomorrow, there will be a video. I will do a press conference video as well, guys, so keep an eye open for that one. And then, of course, on Saturday is the watch-along. Sunday will be the match review. And then we're into another week where we've got 2 games. So it's all go at Newcastle United at the moment. But thank you for your incredible support. We really do appreciate it. Thanks for the super chats and new memberships. Mod Squad, you've been awesome as usual. Thank you to my best mates, Alex and Billy, for tonight. And we will see you tomorrow. It's all down to you guys that we are getting so much success on the channel at the minute. So thank you again. And we will see you live at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of the evening, folks. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out some green.